Yeah. We did the whole experience at the carnival circus. Uh, we saw the body at the we saw the body at the end of the previous session. Started doing a bit of research, looking around. Uh, broke into a butcher's smokehouse or something, and Pebble had a look around. We figured out it was like ley lines, and a portal was beginning to be opened. Um, I think we were able to determine after like searching around for like the three different ones, like kind of like trying to triangulate that we couldn't stop it from opening, more so trying to just delay it. Uh, we figured the stones in the forest are what's keeping it from opening, and we also found out, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but the circus master was some sort of fey
A
creature.
grey jester.
Gray jester. Yes. Um, followed up by Grix and Verlin not being not seeing eye to eye on what the hell is supposed to be happening. And I believe yeah, that's why I have like my exhaustion still. I stayed up all night reading through a book and came up with a lot of information because Verlin did not want to kill and this and that. So, but yeah, so now I think we left off heading off into the woods again to look for these stones.
Yeah, I think the idea was that you guys had made the kind of the thought that you were not going to be able to stop the rift or portal, whatever you want to call it, from opening up. Did you guys? I can't remember. Did you sent the owl back, right? To Rivengard?
No.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I know that was a discussion, but I couldn't remember if you were seeking help from anybody.
Nope. Grix wanted to go himself, but people did not want to go with him, and he wasn't going to just let them go by themselves.
So you guys are then, I believe you were going to rest, or you rested, and then you were going to head out to see if you could locate the stones.
Yeah, so we kind of finished off after the rest, and we were just setting out.
You guys had a nice rest. I didn't.
Yes.
Well, the Pebble still has one exhaustion.
Because she got tons of them.
Yeah. I have 2 exhaustion, so I move at half of 25, which is pretty much I'm going to be moving at 10 feet per round.
Hey, I've got no exhaustion.
I don't. And Caden doesn't either, if I recall correctly, because he like saved it on every throw. I don't think he ever got any exhaustion.
I don't think so either. But yeah, I think what Grix learned kind of a little bit changed Verlin's mind about, how he was saying, I'm not going to attack this thing, or I don't want to kill this thing without proof. And then Grix is reading it, kind of came up with a bit of proof. And so yeah, I think he's right. I think we were heading off probably to die.
Yeah, so from what you guys that Verlin was able to surmise about Grey Jesters is that it wasn't necessarily an impossibility that you could defeat him. It would just be difficult because they are resistant to all types of basically anything that's not magical. As far as weapons are concerned, they're resistant to, and they're also resistant to magic itself, which makes them pretty formidable opponents. But I believe that Verlin had also made mention of, at the very least, making the attempt to convince him to try another way, as opposed to just opening up this portal that could cause who knows what to happen. So you guys actually don't know where the the stones are exactly. You have like a general idea. So near the abbey, in the woods behind the abbey.
Were we planning to go to the Abbey to ask not the priest, but like one of the other people where to go?
Yeah, because
I remember there was discussion of that too.
lad we were talking to, wasn't there?
Yeah, the one who seemed a little bit more level-headed and stuff.
Gavin was the young guy that
Yes.
spilled the beans on everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, we can ask Haven to take us to the stone markings.
All right. It's like the start of a plan.
All right. So you guys know where the abbey is. So there's nothing too eventful. You do see that as you're making your way out of Trockford, off in the distance, because obviously you're going in the opposite direction of it, you can see that it does appear that the circus is packing up at this point.
Isn't it still a few days early technically?
Yes.
Okay. So it's because of us.
Apparently, we have that effect on people.
As we're leaving, can I look and see if maybe like is the caravan master there like gathering people up and leaving as well, or does it look like he's nowhere to be seen?
You're probably, unless you're specifically going to go over there and look.
Okay, no, I thought maybe we were like walking by it.
No, because you'd be technically going in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Because Trockford, the circus would be a bit to the north, and the abbey would be to the roughly to the southeast. I mean, more south, but also as a side note, Rob, do you remember what session this is?
It's session 12.
12, okay.
I mean, I do number them, but unless I'm looking at the number.
No, I know. I was just wanted to make sure that I had my the calendar and the days correct in the game.
Oh, and since even though I didn't sleep, I still get new portents, right? Because it's just every dawn.
Yeah.
Let's see that 20 and a 1.
I mean, at least I could make something fail saves a couple of times.
Oh yeah, it's better than nothing.
So yeah, as a general rule, like because I'm using the Forgotten Realms calendar. So basically, there are 3 weeks in every month, and each week is 10 days long. And so they were planning on being there for roughly 10 days, but it's like the start of the 4th day, I believe. And they're backing stuff up. I mean, to be fair, they did have one of their people murdered as well, so
yeah.
It's a dangerous profession being in the carnival.
So you guys, it takes maybe an hour or so. I can't remember exactly how long. I'm sure I previously said it was, but I can't.
Some more time on that. I'm very tired.
Yeah,
it takes the time of plot.
The other problem is, and this is a common, especially with homebrew, in that sometimes you guys will ask questions or whatever. In this case, it's just me not writing it down. But when I have to make something up, and I'm just gonna you ask like a question, and I'm just like, I'm gonna say this on the fly. I'm just gonna make it up right now, and then I write that down. It's like, okay, well, that's kind of lost to time at this point. But that's just kind of how it happens when you have to improvise stuff on the spot with a homebrew. If I don't write it down, it just sort of like falls into the ether. But hopefully, important things. I don't think it really matters how long it's going to take you guys to get to the Abbey. But
yeah, I usually just put it towards the speed of plot.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, because I was the only. I honestly, the only reason that I even did any of the. Because, like, if you'll remember, in our previous campaign with Valinar, I didn't follow the dates at all. The only reason I did it this time was because of our gunslinger, because I knew he was going to be crafting things. So that was the only reason I was going to keep track of it at all. So I may or may not continue tracking it because for the most part, I don't think it matters that much. I mean, really, it really only does matter when people are like, I would like to learn a skill that's going to take me 50 days to do, or whatever. Like that is really the only reason that I can see.
Even when in my campaign, I mean, I'm keeping track of time mainly just because it's more fleshed out, like with holidays and
Right.
like days that have meaning and stuff. But if you tried to make a whole I mean, if you tried doing that based off of the Forgotten Realms calendar, none of it would really make sense here.
Well, and on top of that, the other thing, I mean, because I guess Exandria technically has its own calendar too, but the only aside from that, the only thing I particularly care about is the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I mean, we're in what is essentially July, in this game. So anyway, back to it. You guys do make it to the Abbey with no issues.
Can we look around for Yevon?
Yeah, you can see he's probably at this point outside, because you remember that they're self-sufficient, so he's probably out in the fields surrounding the Abbey,
Okay, so
doing farming.
Does it look like the crazy dude is around at all?
You do not see him, and if you recall, that part of the issue with him was that he's not around. He's at the pool, which is also in the woods, but you guys didn't go there, so
yeah, that's a different problem.
that's a different problem. That's the whole issue that Pebble brought up as far as the creature that might be in the water.
But yeah, I'll head on over to him. Yevon.
You see he sort of intently working, and it kind of takes a moment for him to sort of realize that there's anybody there. Obviously, he's not used to. Not many people come out and visit these guys, these people. So also, I was just slightly distracted by the Fable music because I love the music from this game. Could you guys hear the music? Is it actually Roll20 working?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's working.
All right. So yeah, Yevon kind of like stops for a second, looks up, is like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you all approach."
That's fine. I was wondering if we could ask a favor from you.
Sure.
You mentioned previously you knew where those stone markings were, correct?
You see, he kind of looks down, a little sheepishly. Probably shouldn't have said anything.
It's fine, but we believe something bad's going to happen there today, but we don't know where it is. We were wondering if you could lead us there, or close by.
I could maybe I could give you directions. Maybe I really prefer not to go there myself.
Well, could you lead us part of the way there and give us directions? We just don't wish to get lost. And if anyone asks, you clearly didn't tell us anything.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, yay.
Aren't you charisma based now? Oh no, you're intelligence based.
I seem to constantly be doing diplomatic things with characters who are not diplomatic.
I don't think any of you are particularly charismatic, are you?
Nope.
I mean, I have a big old -1.
Yeah.
I also have a -1.
I have -1 and disadvantage due to a massive scar on my face.
Caden has a +1 to charisma.
Let's see. Oh, we were in the same boat anyway.
A little bit better.
There you go. That was a Caden roll. I rolled in his character sheet.
There we go.
So Caden rolled a 19.
Thank God.
So he appeals to a fellow devotee of not the same god, obviously, but can, as a cleric to a monkish type person, is able to kind of convince him to at least go part of the way, which he does. I really like the Fable music. I'm sorry, it's good. I don't want to talk over it. The first Fable game was so good. Unfortunately, the rest of them were not. But
Come on, chicken
That's the-
kicker.
yeah, that's the one thing that I'd be sad about if they do reboot the Fable series, because I don't plan on buying an Xbox, and it would be an Xbox exclusive. So anyway, you guys do. He takes you part of the way and gives you directions. You're not really supremely far away from the standing stones, so he doesn't have to give you like particularly difficult directions. He mentions a couple of sort of like landmarks just to let you know that you're on the right path. Probably take you.
As we're like leaving him, can I look at him and just ask about how much longer till we would arrive?
30 minutes, maybe.
All right, I'm gonna cast Mage Armor. I'll just look at him. I'll nod as I'm like doing the incantation, and just the blue magic shimmers across my body.
He just sort of like it kind of catches him by surprise to see the sort of the flash. He's like, "Oh, okay," and you can see that he started backing away, and running back to the abbey.
Bye, thanks.
Well,
He just kind of waves.
let's hope we can deal with this before it gets too out of hand.
I like the idea too that we were like, yeah, maybe we can talk to him and convince him not to do this, and then they're like, oh yeah, -1 to charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I don't plan to be
Yeah.
diplomatic, but unfortunately all my characters seem to do this.
It's dude, come on, bro, just chill. Come on, man, please.
Yeah, come on,
just relax.
So, just to keep out any of the suspense, I'm just going to move you to this map. So you guys get there in about 30 minutes. You guys are on the bottom left-hand side.
Are those the motherfuckers that were turning the Ferris wheel,
Yeah.
the pleasure wheel?
Yes. The pleasure wheel. Also, if you guys fail at this and end up in combat, who would like to control Caden? Because I don't.
I can if no one else wishes to.
All right, go for it.
Yep.
Yeah, because you played a cleric before.
I have.
I have my hands really full with being able to move 2 squares each turn, so I'm going to just try to focus on that.
All right, so
This is actually a fucking awesome map.
Yeah, it's a nice map.
Like, really nice.
I think you should see his character sheet now.
I do.
And then I think by default, you should be able to move his token too.
Yeah, 1 second, roll 20s just froze.
I don't believe it. So yeah, he's flanked by his little buddies, and then you see that he's wearing his jester outfit with a little frowny mask, and also has masks on his hip as well.
Yeah, so I can move the one I've just put on the map, but I can't move the one you place there.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll just delete that one then.
The joys of multiple characters.
As we're approaching, does it seem like they notice us immediately?
You can't tell that. Well, it doesn't look like the half ogres have noticed you. You can't tell if Tormund has noticed you because he has a mask on.
I'm going to try to hide best I can then.
You guys can all do stealth rolls if you'd like to try and be sneaky about it.
I'm at the first level of exhaustion gives me disadvantage on this, right?
I will say that you can, if if you guys are hiding behind the stones or the bushes, you can have a straight roll on it. Because that.
Okay, I'll take it. Oh, when Grix gets scared, he gets very stealthy.
I mean, that makes sense. You know, you think about like all the movies or whatever when people are like trying to hide and like hold their breath and like, you know, being super quiet. Make sure Jason doesn't find them and stab them.
Yeah, but they always get stabbed, so let's not use that.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, Jason always finds them because the second that they sort of peek their head out, their head gets chopped off.
And I imagine with Pebble, she's like sneaking glances every now and again and not being amazingly stealthy with her 10.
So top one Verlin and bottom one is Caden.
All right, so this is pretty bad.
Do like as I like kind of sit back against this and try to, like you said, like, you know, I'm trying to be as quiet as possible. Do I hear them talking, or do I hear any sort of incantations or stuff like that going on?
You all hear kind of a low hum. You kind of get the idea that it's actually like the stones that are making the noise. It doesn't appear that they're speaking. The half ogres are just kind of like standing around looking bored for the most part. And I guess like for as far as Tormund's concerned, you can't really, I mean, he has mask on, so it's hard to like read his but his body language sort of suggests that he seems to just be waiting. Like he's kind of pacing back and forth a little bit. He's not saying anything, but he looks like, I guess you could say that his body language makes it look like he's impatient.
From where I am, I'm going to just like kind of look up to Verlin and just this is your chance to talk to him.
Yes, I know. And Verlin will start walking out.
Pebble just peeks out from the bush. I'll be ready to punch them if you need me to.
And as you approach, the half ogres kind of move a little bit up to in front of Tormund. And you had seen Tormund's face when he was in he was in his little trailer, his little caravan, because you saw his face change.
Yeah, he was like, that was like the grayish green skin, right?
Right, and where his teeth sort of like started to look like daggers. But now you can't see his face. He has a mask. So the mask that he's wearing in this sort of outfit is what you saw him when he was performing. So he's in his full jester getup.
Let's not get too hasty, you two. I'm here to talk to the jester.
Yeah, and you can see that Tormund kind of waves his hand because as you say you're here to talk to the jester, the half ogres kind of look back at him, and he just sort of like raises his hand, kind of waves them off, and they move off to the side a little bit, and he steps forward. So, what is it that I can do for you, friend?
You realise this will put a tear between the realms, correct?
I do. It is it is my ticket home.
Surely
This god-awful place.
There must be other ways to get home.
Well, there are other ways, but no other ways that I can make that happen. And if I guess if any, I mean, you all can do it if you want. If anybody wants to roll an Arcana check, you can. Let's see if you know what other options there are.
12, because I'm double exhausted.
11.
I don't think Pebble would know anything. Or I can try it anyway to see what happens. Okay, yeah.
I'll roll
She got
Caden.
distracted. She got distracted by a caterpillar on the bush.
And Caden got 12, but yeah. Nothing much is probably going to come to mind, is it?
I think we already talked a little bit about, the forest to the northwest that has a possible opening to the Feywild.
Yeah, but that was for lesser fey creatures.
Yeah,
true,
so
true.
like we talk about, like the more powerful creatures would not be able to make it through that particular portal. It is more like you'd have your pixies and things like that that would be able to make it through. More so creatures that are would be a little bit more at home in either place, whether the Feywild or the Prime Material Plane. But there are creatures that are more of the Feywild and would find it be torture essentially to be here, and Grey Jesters are one of them. But with a 19, as far as an Arcana check, or 12,
No. Yeah, 12. Yeah.
2 12s between you and even 11, because it's not like there may be other ways, but like you would know at the very least. And Caden would probably know this too. I mean, obviously, a wish spell would work because you could wish for somebody to go back to a different place. Obviously, and what you would know in having studied, the wish spell is not taught to anyone. As we talked about, like in kind of the Harry Potter idea of there are forbidden books in the libraries, and any sort of reference to learning how to use a wish spell would be among them, because obviously that can undo the world.
Wouldn't banishment do it as well?
Well, I mean, possibly. And the I would say that the one that comes to your mind, Grix, and same thing that would come to Caden's mind, is the plane shift spell.
Mm-hmm.
And
Just
that's not.
Do I know anyone that would be able to do that back from the school? Like, or was there anyone powerful enough to have like known that spell?
Yeah, I mean, there would be plenty. I mean, you would know, obviously, anyone on the Council of Eight would likely be able to cast that spell. I think it's a level 7 spell, if I'm not mistaken, plane shift. So yeah, I mean, you'd have to be relatively powerful to be able to cast the spell, and I think it's not. I think it's like basically everybody. I don't think it's like I think clerics and wizards and sorcerers and druids can all cast it. So I don't think it's maybe not clerics. But I'm pretty sure wizards and sorcerers and druids can all cast it. I don't think it's like a specific. I don't think it's tied to a specific class. So not like inherently like a nature spell or anything. And so from a just a regular Arcana sort of magical spell, you would imagine that plane shift would be the most obvious thing. Sort of like outside of that, I mean, all of you would recognize the fact that like these stones exist to keep the portal from opening. So in some instances, just like the smaller one over in the forest of dreams, I believe is what it's called. These portals can happen naturally. This one just happens to be particularly powerful. So what he's saying is technically true as well. I mean, like this in theory should work. Once these stones stop working, essentially, he should be able to return. However, it's dangerous because there are things that can be pulled out of it as well. So, whereas obviously a plane shift spell just takes
It's a
you where you
one-way
want to go.
ticket.
Yeah.
Is there anything? Is there any other dangers of like I got to assume these would be unstable compared to other ways as well. Like, the natural occurring rifts, like ripping in between the planes, is there other dangers aside from just what might come through?
I mean, in this instance, there's probably not like it's not. You probably wouldn't want to be standing around it, but it's not going to cause like a lot of physical damage to the
Okay.
surrounding area or anything. It's not like going to cause an explosion or anything. But yeah, even the smaller ones, they have an ebb and flow to them, so they're not necessarily always open. This one just happened to be powerful enough to allow larger creatures to come in, and you don't know. I mean, it's possible that this very portal is how the Grave Jester got here. You're not sure, and he didn't say, but there are places like this all over the world. So it's not particularly uncommon. Like these sort of standing stones are not super uncommon necessarily. They usually are away from other places. So like being in the woods and being sort of like uh, you generally don't have purposely. They try to keep sort of civilization from encroaching on these places for obvious reasons.
You realize that if you open this, things could come through from the other side.
He nods and says, I do, and though I don't wish any particular harm against anyone, I am simply looking after myself at this point.
Can you seal it from the other side?
And you see, he kind of gets quiet, and he just you see that he like again, it's difficult to read him because he has a mask on, but he kind of hangs his head a little bit and just shakes his head no. You kind of get the idea at the very least that he's not particularly. I mean, he's gray jesters in and of themselves. Again, are by definition they are evil. I believe they're lawful evil, but he's not. He's selfish at this point. He's not. He's not. He's not. He doesn't. He's not trying to do this to harm anybody. He just doesn't want to be here anymore. So I mean, you kind of get the idea that he can't close it, and it's not something that he's happy about. Like he's not trying to open this portal to like wreak havoc on anything or anyone. He just this is his way home, basically.
Did you have to kill the druid? He could have sealed it afterwards.
Yes, but the barrier wouldn't go down as long as the druids are still alive. They use part of themselves to imbue these stones with magic. And as long as they live, these stones will hold their power. And I do believe that they're all dead now, but it does apparently take some time for the magic to be lost entirely. And you can see these kind of like looking around at all the stones, kind of like annoyed that he's still standing here after his plan has been successful, at least to as far as he knows, to make this portal open.
I'm gonna point at Verlin and cast message and just ask him if we found another way for him to go, if he could stop this process.
If we found another way for you to go home, would you stop this process?
And he kind of hangs his head a little bit and says, well, unfortunately, there's no way to stop it at this point without, well, and he kind of stops himself and says, there's no way for me to stop it.
How do we stop it? Yells a bush.
Well, to reactivate these stones, you would need druids to recast the spells.
Grix, do we know any druids?
Just shakes his head no. I mean, I'm sure he might know one or two from in the city, but like you said, there aren't many druids living in.
You know,
big
one
cities.
she works in the stupid.
Yeah.
She works for you.
But we also don't know what spell this is, how powerful it is, if she would be able
Well,
to do it. So
for all, I mean, for the out of game, it's not a, it's a ritual. It's not a D&D spell.
okay.
So there may be some like D&D spell that would work this, but for the purposes of the story, it's a druidic ritual that they do, and it's not like a level 5 spell or anything like that.
I believe there are some wizards in Rivengard who could send you back without having to break this seal, but it may require time to convince them.
Grix is gonna. Actually, real quick, do I know any wizards, like, or have I worked with anyone who does stuff like this for money?
I mean, there's not it's not like a specific job requirement, but there would be certainly people within guilds, like mages and wizards within guilds, that obviously they would do just like you guys would do things for money. But there's not, and maybe there is like a wizards guild, but there isn't anything like you wouldn't necessarily know like a specific group that
they don't advertise that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, but certainly there would be other guilds that probably have a wizard high enough in ability to cast a spell like that.
Then as he says, it might take some convincing. Rick will start walking out from behind, and just, it might take some coin.
And he sort of crosses his arms and says, well, time is of the essence, as you can guess. So it seems to me that if you want to stop this from happening, you have quite a bit of work ahead of you. You have to find someone who can send me back, and you also have to find someone to stop this portal from opening.
I believe we know someone who could help with the portal, and I believe Grix knows someone who we may be able to contact for your issues.
And also, you like you said, you don't know how long this will take to be done with the magic. So our way might actually be quicker than this.
And he sort of shrugs and says, well, I suppose it's really on you. If you can convince these people to do such a thing, then I suppose I would be amenable to the task. But in the meantime, I'll be staying here in case the portal opens in the meantime.
Can I look at him and just... I'm somewhat trained in arcane magic. Not great with nature, but do you mind if I take a look to see if I can tell how much time there will be?
He does a very large and beautiful a bow, with like a hand across the chest and his arm up in the air, his other arm up in the air as a sort of like be my guest sort of gesture.
I am not going to take my eyes off of him, but I will go up and I want to see if there's any way I can tell, how much magic is left or how much has already been drained, or just any idea about, if I could get an idea about time.
I'd probably want to do that separately because I don't have disadvantage.
You don't have any exhaustion?
No. Plus I have I'm proficient in Arcana.
And is Caden proficient in Arcana? I know he doesn't have any. I don't think he is.
He is not, but he has a +3.
I got a 10, so not too good.
18.
I mean, it's difficult to like. There's not like a. It's not like a cell phone where you can see the battery level or anything. But you do, even with a 10. I mean, you maybe get the. Actually, you know what might work, and Pebble could even do this. I believe you could detect magic.
Oh, yay.
That might be better than Arcana, just because you could possibly get an idea of about how much magic is in the area. I would say that in that regard, Pebble's probably fluctuating between different colors. In that, obviously, Tormund himself is giving off magic, and then I'm not exactly sure what the best school of magic would be for something like this, as far as like a bear is concerned.
Yeah, probably whatever plane shift is.
Yeah, probably. Which I'm gonna look up real quick.
Is it conjuration or transmutation?
It is conjuration.
So lots of green.
And actually it is. It's cleric, sorcerer, warlock, wizard, and druid. So everybody who can cast a spell can cast it except for bards. And bards could probably still get it because they can steal spells from other classes anyway. So and he is actually, let me see. Yeah, so he is giving off illusion magic, and conjuration magic would be.
Oh shit! So this isn't even like actual disguise for him. He just changes what he appears to be.
Well, I mean, possibly.
Right,
He's giving off illusion magic.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it's
so I
possibility.
mean, yeah, it's possible. You can't. She's just sort of fluctuating between those that illusion and conjuration. So with that, like you would like, because you can. Grix can actually has the detect magic spell, doesn't he, or does it not?
Yes, I know. I do. It's just I would have to cast it as a ritual.
Well, I mean, you could if you'd like. I mean, it's 10 minutes. I mean,
yeah. I mean, if I think it'll help me figure out any sort of thing with this, yeah, I would definitely would.
Because basically, Pebble would be able to show that that the magic is still there. I would say detect magic probably has a better handle on.
Ooh, I could also do that. I mean, I don't know if this would help me maybe tell how long, but no, that would just tell me what spell it was, so it wouldn't really probably tell me anything about duration. After doing it for a few minutes, Grix is going to kind of look up.
Roll detect magic real quick. Just going. I want to read it. Yeah, so I feel like detect magic is probably, because again, like I would say it's sort of a combination of detect magic and your arcana skill, just because of the way that I think of it, at least, is detect magic. If it's something that's like extremely powerful magic, it's going to be very sort of like bright, and so you could see and just sort of like your knowledge of I don't know that you'd be able to specifically put a time frame on it necessarily, but I would say that the stones are emanating a fairly weak amount of magic at this point.
Pretty much, we would have to hurry.
Yeah, and actually, the way that I would say that it works too is that, like, so there are actually so there's these 4 ones in the middle, And then there are these standing stones that you were hiding behind before. So there's 4 more. So there's actually a total of 8 stones here. I mean, technically, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Yeah, so there's actually 12 because each one of these is 2. So there's 1 here and then 1 here, and then there's just this thing on top of it. So there's 12 total. And you as you're I'll say that you would have to walk around a little bit to sort of each one to notice, and you can see that some of them are giving off a bit more magic than others, and you kind of get the idea that it's you. If you knew who cast it, you could probably guess which druid had been killed first, because obviously the ones that the person who had been killed first would have the least amount of magic remaining. And I would say actually there's probably even a couple of these stones that don't have any magic in them at all.
Okay. Well, yeah. When I notice that, I'll kind of look at everyone and just say, if this is what we're doing, we should hurry.
Well, if it can be done, we just need to send messages back.
I don't think we're going to be able to send a message. We have to go ourselves. We have to find someone who is willing to send him back to the Feywild.
I mean, we do have a person here with the sending spell.
Yes, but they don't know who I know in the city, and it's usually going to take more than the amount of words he could send to discuss pricing and bartering for someone as powerful enough to send him back.
You can send a message to, I forget her name, person in
Moira?
Yes.
I mean, we can also send a message to Quinn to see if he knows anyone.
Quinn might know somebody. He's also not. I mean, he's not in the city, but that doesn't necessarily matter. There is someone else that you know who might know people, and that is Summers, Abraham Summers, who you need to go back and talk to anyway. Given the fact that he is the sort of magistrate of one of the districts.
And what about the guy who was like head of that fake guild? The Magpies.
Yeah.
He seemed very, even if not powerful enough himself, he might know people.
I believe you guys were, because he was a cleric of Mask.
Yes.
So he's a cleric. He was I think the only name that he gave you was the Seeker.
And then we did research and had ideas. Maybe it was something like this, but we weren't sure.
I mean, because we could technically send a message to him and ask him to come here as an emergency, and one to Moira.
I mean, if he is a very high-level cleric, he might even be able to cast it himself, so...
You can always tell Moira to send word to someone else as well, or to Summers, just to have backup ready in case.
So if we're going to do this, I would say we should have a message sent to the Seeker first, because if he's willing to come, we won't even have to tell Moira to worry about anyone else. And then we could just tell her to come as well. And if not, then our second best option would be to see if Moira could find someone who would be willing to do it for pay.
Yeah, seems fair.
All right, you guys will have to help me because it's been a very, very long time since I played a cleric. If I'm not mistaken, clerics know all the spells available.
They just have to have one prepared, yes.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
he has sending prepared.
Right. Well, no, I was actually just trying to look at the because I was pulled up the Seeker's character sheet, so I wanted to make sure that like, so I know what level spells he can cast, but I was like, but I don't have plane shift on his character sheet, but I just wanted to make sure that just by level he would be able to cast that.
Mm-hmm. If he could cast 7th level spells, I mean, he would have it no matter what. I mean, if you obviously if it's not something he was planning on using and he didn't have it today, we'd have to wait a day. But yeah, he would know the spell.
Yeah.
Much luckier than wizards.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those. Kind of need help. If not, tear to the Feywild just outside of Rivengard. Question mark.
Can plane shift? Question mark.
It's like the
Ken has cheeseburger.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's like a little cat speak. Ken has cheeseburger. Ken has plane shift. You also know Val, the servant of the Seeker.
Yeah, isn't she the mute?
Yep.
That might be interesting, seeing if she could actually even respond.
Oh, it's
all in your head.
psychically.
Yeah.
Well, considering she psychically speaks to us, yes.
Right, but
true.
Remember,
Yeah, she does. I forgot that.
Yeah, but remember, she can't respond to the message spell because you have to whisper that. But message she could respond to, because I think I told you guys this at least out of game. Remember when she talks, it's the tentacles crawling inside your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
she speaks
from
to
the warlock thing
because she's the warlock. So she actually could not, because that was the only reason I did that, is because I wanted her to be able to use message, but then I was like, but I can't because she can't whisper. So yeah, so sending she could respond to because.
Well, I will suggest that he says something along the lines of, there is possibly a rift. Well, there is a rift opening between the Feywild and Prime Material. Please come help before it tears open. And then see what he says.
Need plane shift spell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then obviously one of them would be to Moira to need assistance outside of Tropford.
With nature, with nature magic rituals and such.
Please come. Maybe better job opportunity.
All right,
And
so
depending on what the Seeker says, we might have to ask her to look around for some high level magic people to cast plane shift.
all right, give me a second here. I want to see.
While Caden's doing all this stuff, Grix is gonna sit down here with his back against the stones and just kind of looking between the jester and the two. Are they actually ogres, or are they half giants, or?
They appear to be half ogres.
Okay. All right, yeah. He's just gonna pull out some paper and some of his coloring utensils and just start drawing pictures of everything.
Matt, I have a question.
Yep.
Considering from what we've heard and how this is all working, the rituals required for this seem to be tied to kind of like tying a druid's life essence in some form to the stones, correct?
Yes.
Could I investigate that along the blood magic lines of a blood hunter?
Yeah. I guess I don't even know what that would be. I mean, it probably is Arcana, but I'll give you advantage on it.
I'll have Kate guide me while I'm doing it.
Cheater.
Yeah. So a 21.
It's funny. I did not. I was looking at the wrong thing. Funny enough, the Seeker actually does have that plane shift prepared. I was looking at the wrong thing. He actually does. He doesn't have any level 6 spells prepared, but he has one level 7 spell. Because I gave him 3 level 7 spells. I gave him Resurrection, Plane Shift, and Etherealness, and he actually has Plane Shift as one of his prepared spells.
Yeah.
be.
Just don't die because he doesn't have Resurrection.
Should I go back to the entrance of the forest to lead Moira and the Seeker here?
We should.
Well, it'll take them time. Remember how long it took us to get to Trockford?
Oh,
We should wait till we hear the responses.
Moira is still in Hemswick Hall, so it'll probably take her. Because again, I mean, I don't remember exactly how it only took a few hours, like 2 or 3 hours, to get to from Trockford to. So
On horseback, we worked too.
okay. Well, let me pull her up, and I don't know. I don't think she has any sort of.
Hey, she could turn into an animal for a couple.
I was gonna say
hours.
I don't know if she I'm gonna look and see if she has any shapeshifting abilities because I create the character sheets, but then I mean obviously she's never fought or anything, so I didn't really need. Let's see. She does not have any. But let's see. Okay. So as I say, well, she has to locate animals or plants, so you could describe like a plant in the area, and then she'd be able to try and get there, but it's only a 5-mile range, so she wouldn't be able to get there that way.
Well, I mean, would she be able to do it if she got to the church and cast it?
Probably. Let's see. 1 second here. Let's see. She also, I was to see like her. She also has her, her birds. She does have wild shape actually, because I think all druids get wild shape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she could turn into a horse or something with 4 legs and run faster for a couple of hours.
Yeah. So she can probably get there faster than the Seeker. But you do get a response from both. Moira sort of cryptically responds and says that she's on her way, but I don't know how she would say this in as many words as she's allowed to say, but essentially, you kind of get the idea that she's like, yeah, I'll help, and then I'm done, as far as like being an indentured servant.
Deal.
Fair enough.
The guild. So she will shift into. Obviously, she's going to wait until she gets outside of the city, and then she'll shift into a creature that will get her to move faster. The Seeker basically just asks asks where you are, and agrees to. He doesn't give any sort of, ultimatums or anything like that. He asks where you are, and then he says that he will be there as quickly as he can.
Caden will send his third and final sending and give him locations and directions.
So, within probably, it, it it'll still take a number of hours, for either of them to show up, and Moira will get there first. Um, so you guys do have some time. If there's anything else that you want to do while you're waiting and sitting here with a gray jester and some half ogres.
Yes, with that 21, would I be able to understand the the life rituals that would have been required, and is it possible for me to, if not, I very much doubt I'll be able to repair them, but is there any way I can extend them temporarily? At cost, obviously.
I would say that you, with the role there, I mean, you do kind of have an understanding in similar ways of uh, the way that the blood hunter uses his blood and his own life force to strengthen himself. You sort of see a similarity, kind of a variation on a theme, but it is much more. I would say you would recognize it as being slightly more complicated than what the blood hunter does. So you can see like parts of your understanding in that, but then there is a whole nother sort of like further level of magic involved that you start to realize that it's beyond what you're capable of doing, and you don't think that doing any of your own sort of rituals would be helpful in this regard.
It's worth a go.
But I would say that you recognize enough of it to be pretty impressed by the whole process.
Yeah, it's definitely an advanced type of sealing.
And that it would be very obvious why Moira would immediately make mention of the fact that if I'm helping you, I'm done being a servant, because you would recognize that it is a ritual that does tie the druid in some ways to this place and these stones, and you would essentially be leaving a part of yourself to do that. Now, how much it would drain is up for debate. But I would think that you guys would all have enough understanding that as long as one of the stones is powered, the portal should remain closed. But as a stopgap essentially, and that it couldn't one single stone wouldn't be enough to maintain it forever. And I would say too that because you notice on the ground in the center there where like the grass is sort of dead and everything. I would you guys would probably assume that given the shape that the portal is in right now, more than likely, other creatures have come through or gone through from here. Because the portal is just, it's unstable, and you haven't seen it necessarily open, but you did notice, or you did get hit by limbs that opened up over the altars that you found. So while you may be able, one stone might be able to keep it from being opened entirely, in its current state, it probably has opened at least partially for a number of times, more than likely.
Well, it seems we have someone both on their way to, one, send you back across, and 2 to strengthen the ritual, if you don't mind waiting.
He says, well, again, I'm simply waiting for the portals to open, so if they come in time, then fine. If not, well, I have this other option.
If the druid gets here first and begins strengthening, I would ask that you allow them.
And he sort of nods and kind of, you hear him laugh, and it's a very unnerving laugh. He says, well, if the other one shows up and cannot help, I'll just have to kill that druid.
Let's hope that doesn't happen, because then we'll be forced to intervene.
And he chuckles again, and when he laughs, you all kind of get a chill down your spine. And the half ogres kind of like walk over, and they kind of like sit up against the stones. They look incredibly bored. None of this matters to them. They're only here because he's making them be here, and they're just like, just not interested.
I'm gonna look at one of them and just say, are you going with him?" and point towards the jester.
And they both look at Tormund, and he says, no, they will not be joining me. They are not of the Feywild. They shall stay here. And
They're
they both
really
just kind
tall.
of shrug.
I'm gonna. I mean, I have a lot of spells, and I can do. I'm gonna do this and then take a short rest afterwards anyway to get my spells back. But I'm going to go ahead and cast Enlarge on Pebble and say, "Go have fun," and point to the 2 fucking half ogres.
Do you want to play fight?
So when you make her enlarge, what size does she become?
She
Medium?
becomes a medium size, so probably about like I would say that the size of like a go. It's double weight in height, or no, the weight is times 8. The other, like the actual size is doubled. So what are you, like 3 foot something?
She's I think she's 3 foot exact, so she'll go
So
to
she'd be 6 foot, but she would get 8 times heavier than she is.
So she's still shorter than Verlin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But if you cast it on Verlin, he would become a large creature, right?
Yes, he would be like them.
All right. So as you do that and want to play fight, he gets up and punches you. So let me pull up the character sheet on these.
Please,
Oh my
if you're
God.
going to rage, don't do it in the unstable magic zone.
All right. So just for fun, I'm not gonna roll initiative, but I am gonna put on the fight music here. So just because it's fun. I put this in alphabetical order, and I still can't find the stupid character sheet. There it is.
Actually, I should have just made him smaller so fucking Pebble could fight him.
All right. So he swings his fist, but he does miss. Actually, it's a 13. So.
Pebble will actually, instead of rage, do that excitement roll on the other table. And then also punch him.
An excitement roll. Holy shit. Well, you might have just actually started a combat. He's going to be pissed.
Do you have that handy? Because I can't find the other one.
It should be in our messages.
Yeah, I have the other one, but let me see.
I think it was 89 that I rolled.
I don't know what I did with it.
89 is non-magical objects within 20 feet of me are pulled towards me 10 feet, if not secured.
I actually don't think there's anything.
I mean, I'm drawing and stuff, so my shit goes flying out of my hands.
Yeah, little pencils and stuff, and your paper just flies towards her.
Just
Right.
10 feet.
But yeah, half ogres have very low armor class, so a 20 definitely does hit. For this, I'm not going to roll on the crit table because you're not.
Yeah, she
Punch
doesn't
through
want
his
to
fucking
actually.
chest.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not using your weapons, I think it's not all that. I don't even open the crit for myself anymore because Caden can just negate them every time for like 8 times per. So yeah, you hit him and he just laughs.
Pebble laughs as well.
And then I will take a short rest, which won't do anything for my exhaustion, but I'll get my 2 spells back that I lost. We have time for like an hour-long rest for me, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm assuming we have a lot of time.
Yeah, you probably have I would guess at least 5 hours. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to do while you were waiting?
Nothing on my end because I honestly thought this would end up in a fight.
Still might.
It certainly might.
So you see,
Real quick, Matt. The book I stole was from this jester, right?
Yes.
And I've already read the whole thing.
Yes.
I'll go hand it back to him. I'll just look at it and I'll say, sorry, just I like reading.
You see, he actually just puts it in his bag and he doesn't say anything. And eventually, you see a bird come flying in and then morph into Moira. And you see, she lands and kind of looks around, and she sees you, Grix, and gives you a wink because she likes you.
He'll kind of look up and just like shuffle a bunch of papers back into his bag and just is this any sort of ritual that you're familiar with? And like he'll go through like a bit of the explanation up to what's going on.
I'm gonna roll a wisdom check for her. She's a +4. Rolled a 22. So she says, "It is not something that I've done myself, but I do believe that I could make do."
And I am going to like as she like I'll approach her and I'll just say, if anything goes wrong and he tries to and I'll nod towards the jester and I'll just say tries to attack you, we will be here.
You see she gives you a sly little smile and says, "Oh, thank you, dear."
And then I'll move out of the way. I don't know what the hell stone she's gonna pick or anything like that, but I'll just move out of the way and let her do her thing.
So she's actually going to go to this one, and she does explain that it'll take a while for this to. This isn't something that you can just cast a spell and be done with, especially because she's never done this before. So you can see that she sort of kneels down, kind of sits on. I guess she's basically just kneeling on like sitting on the back of her feet, and you have that like something like a full kneel, I guess, just sort of sitting down. And you can see that she has her eyes closed, and she puts her hand on the stone, and she starts speaking in Sylvan. If any of you speak Sylvan, you can understand that she's actually just speaking chants, essentially, kind of saying the same thing over and over again.
I'll have Caden assisting if she needs anything.
Okay. I assume that who does speak Sylvan?
I mean, if she's doing it for long enough, I will kill. I'll cast comprehend languages so I can understand what she's doing.
I mean,
Like
if
as
you
a
want
ritual.
to, but I
Yeah.
just don't think anybody.
No, I'll do it as a ritual because I speak Common, Gnomish, Elvish, Draconic, Dwarvish, Abyssal, and Celestial.
And Caden doesn't speak it either.
But yeah, I'll just do it just because it would probably interest me what she's saying, like because I'm obviously familiar with arcane incantations, but hearing nature ones would be interesting to me. So I'll definitely do it to see if I can pick up what she's doing.
Oh, I realize you also you do know another druid. You know the Dryad.
Oh,
probably
fuck
would've
that
helped.
shit. Yeah. She would have been the one bringing shit over here.
So as she's doing that, you notice she's actually changing between two different languages. She's speaking Sylvan, but she's also speaking Druidic, which is a language on its own. It's kind of like Thieves' Cant in that sense, where it's like its own sort of thing.
Yep.
So she's sort of going between the two. Yeah, I mean it's interesting. Just various incantations and stuff.
For the rest of the time while we're waiting, I'm just gonna have the. Well, actually, I don't know if I should. I'll try it. I'll have the. I'll have my owl just start flying around and like land on Pebble and then go over and land with like just kind of checking on everything.
And you can see Tormund actually kind of moves up a little bit and stands in the center there, but he is intently watching Moira.
I'll not to stand directly in front of him, but just to make sure he knows not to get too close.
And Pebble, the half ogre, you can see he like kind of reaches into his pouch and he pulls out like these little like wooden figurines. I mean, you can tell he's basically a gigantic child. And so like he has like these little like figurines that he's like sort of like basically he's playing with, like they're just like having them fight each other and stuff. And
she pulls out her stuffed boar, Mud, and starts playing with that as well.
Yeah, and he like puts the figurine on top of the boar, like it's riding it around, and like he seems to be having a good time. The other ogre, the other half ogre, is like leaning up against the stone, and he appears to be falling asleep.
He's like the teenager, like kids.
Yeah. So immature. We're gonna be playing Pokemon over there. I'm too cool for that. So eventually, and this is probably still another couple of hours, and it is getting dark. I believe I actually do have a version of this map that's dark, but I'm not gonna switch it. Actually, let me just double check, because now that I say that, I was like, you know what, that'd be kind of cool. Let me see if I have it. But yeah,
I'll pull out kindling and stuff and make a fire if it's starting to get dark.
I have so many maps though. Let's see if I can actually even find out where I put these. I actually do not have a night version of this one. I had a night version of a different enchanted forest. So let's just pretend it's darker now. Which is actually kind of interesting, because you can see that the stones are giving off magical energy, and you can see that it is quite beautiful actually as it gets dark. And eventually, probably another. Yeah, I mean, it's probably, I would say maybe 10 or 11 o'clock at night at this point. It's been an additional probably 5 or 6 hours before the Seeker appears.
When he gets there, I'll do my best again to explain what's going on and point him to the jester and just ask if he could send him to.
Did you guys ever even see that
Yes,
image of him?
you showed us it one.
Okay.
I believe so. Actually, it looks familiar. Just explaining like this may help to not have a another unstable rift so close to Rivengard.
Let me double check one other thing. I don't know. I'm going to read the wording on that particular spell. Because I believe he has to go with him, the Jester. I don't think, because the plane shift, you and up to 8 willing creatures link hands in a circle and transported. Yeah, so he can't send him. He has to go with him.
Does he magically have a second 7th level spell slot?
He actually does not. He only has
Ooh.
one spell slot.
I mean, Rob mentioned it before, and I'm pretty sure this isn't the spell he just carries around with him. But if he has banishment at level 4, he could do the same thing and just send him.
Well, technically, you can also plane shift can work as a banished spell if the creature is unwilling.
Mhm.
But of course, he's not unwilling. This is the whole point. Is that it's where he wants to go.
Yes, so we can banish him to the Shadow Realm. I mean, Feywild.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So if anyone wants to roll on your knowledge of the Fae themselves, not necessarily just the Feywild, you can roll a nature check. Or I guess maybe even a history check.
Much better.
Yeah, I'll take a crack at history.
17?
22.
22. So there are conflicting reports. Because obviously you don't get a whole lot of verifiable truths with the Fae themselves, because they are tricksters by nature. So within the hierarchy of the Fae, there's the Seelie Court and the Unseelie Court. It's not as black and white as people on the Primaterial Plane understand it to be. Because to the Fae, there are a lot of gray areas. It's not as cut and dry. But from the scholars and stuff here, the Unseelie Court is an organization of Fae that are more of the sort of evil. I'm doing that air quotes, evil Fae that have this sort of macabre and twisted sort of natures, and the twisted trees and all the scary parts of the Fae. And the Seelie Court are more of the fairies and the pixies and things like that. And that part is true, that the sort of the people that kind of go in those directions. But the idea that the Unseelie Court is evil and the Seelie Court is good is not so black and white as it would seem on the surface. But the other thing that you would know is that there is a sort of discrepancy between where the leadership of each court is housed. There is the Unseelie Court within the Feywild, but then there's some that believe that the Queen of Air and Darkness, sometimes they actually call her Queen Mab, she actually might be located in Pandemonium, which if you guys watched where they went to save Grog, they went to Pandemonium. So yeah, it's from what you know, you would definitely assume that a Grey Jester would fall amongst the Unseelie Court.
I remembered that name, the Seelie Court, from a book when I was younger that I read, and I just realized that's from Shadowhunters. So, like Shadowhunters took it from D&D.
Well, no, actually, D&D stole it from, I believe it's Gaelic folklore, because that's
Okay.
where the Seelie and the Unseelie court comes
Yep.
from. But if anybody who's not familiar with it, I mean, it's Seelie, and then that's how it's spelled, and Unseelie. But yeah, so it's because the Gaelic, that's where a lot of fairies and stuff come from, and the Feywild sort of takes cues from that. But yeah, the D&D, like so many other things, it stole that idea from folklore. But yeah, it's been used in a lot of different places. It also, what's it called? The Dresden Files has the Seelie and the Unseelie court, I believe. But yeah, so you would have that idea about the hierarchy of the Fae themselves, and this is where, because the Seeker, if he wants to take him somewhere, obviously Tormund has to tell him a place to go, especially in Feywild where you can get lost instantaneously. And the Seeker himself, obviously, he would have to wait. He'd have to have a long rest. But it's not like he would be unable to return. He could cast the spell again from the Feywild. The only, it could be 400 years in the future when it comes back. Actually.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That with banishment, you can send them to their home plane if they fail to save, if they're not originally from this plane.
Right, but if you read the spell banishment, if the target is native to the plane of existence you're on, you banish the target to a harmless demiplane. While there, the target is incapacitated. Let's see, if to plane of existence you're on. Okay, so it says if the target is native to a different plane of existence than the one that you're on, the target is banished with a faint popping noise, returning to its home plane. If the spell ends before 1 minute has passed, the target reappears in the space it left. Otherwise, the target doesn't return. Okay, so yeah, he could cast that spell.
Yeah, so as long as he doesn't lose concentration, he's basically just going, go home, and sending him away.
Yeah, that might be a better option.
We could try it at very least.
However, he does not have that spell prepared. So he'd have to wait 24 hours.
I mean, we already have her doing this, so I mean, it would be up to the Grey Jester if he'd be willing to wait.
If you're willing to wait 24 hours, we can send you back with no hassle whatsoever.
I mean, it wouldn't even be 24 hours at this point, right? We would just need to sleep through the night.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it's already nighttime.
Yeah, I don't really know like the specifics on how long it takes to prepare a spell. Honestly,
it's just over a long rest.
Yeah,
okay.
As soon as you wake up, you
get to
prepare
choose new
spells.
Okay. All right, so we had additional 8 hours. Okay. So
I think with clerics and paladins and stuff for that, they usually just do it like as part of their prayers is the choosing.
Okay. So, again, the Jester agrees in the sense that, like, from his point of view, he's already waiting, right? So it doesn't really matter to him. So he acknowledges the fact that once again it's fine for him, and he promises that he won't harm any of you if you decide to sleep.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Pebble takes a nap with her new ogre friend.
And you just see this big ogre laying on the ground on his back, and then you get Pebble all snuggled up beside him.
Just like using his belly button as a fucking cot.
It doesn't specifically say how tall a large creature is, but a lot bigger than 3 feet, I would assume. So,
Yeah, I'll turn to the Seeker. I appreciate you doing this. It is putting you out to do this.
he sort of just like kind of like waves his hand, kind of like basically just dismissing you, and he goes and sits over by the other sleeping half ogre. You can't really tell what his thoughts are or anything because of the mask.
Oh
and
no,
he
I was
sort of
talking to the Seeker.
Oh, you're talking to the Seeker?
Yeah.
So
Rob, you're going a little bit robot-y.
Yeah, sorry, inset was just a bit iffy for a second.
Okay, gotcha.
the Seeker also just kind of nods at you, and you see that he basically sits down and starts sort of doing his preparations. Over here a little bit.
I'll turn around to Grix. If you wish to get some rest, now's the time. I shall keep watch throughout the night.
When you actually say that, he's already sleeping.
If that's yeah,
Like he's still sitting up with his back against stuff, but his eyes are just closed, and you just hear him breathing slowly.
yeah, if that's the case, I'll just take out the stuffed ball I won yesterday, put it in his lap, and just stand there and watch the entire night.
All right, so is Caden gonna sleep?
Yes.
Assume so.
But I'll be taking
All
a
right,
point of
and-
exhaustion.
And I'll ask my owl to, if anything, keep an eye on the jester, and if anything weird is happening, to wake us up.
All right, so I guess do a perception check, Verlin, for your watch, essentially. All right, and then for fun, everybody, including Caden, roll a d20.
Oh God, that doesn't sound like it's gonna be fun for anyone else.
So first one is Verlin. Second one, Caden.
All right. So 45 is your total score there.
I mean, do our guests also help to that score?
No, this is for fun, because I don't normally do any sort of random rolls to see what will happen, but in this particular case, I think I need to, rather than deciding what to do. So just doing some math. All right. So, Verlin, as you are on your watch, you don't notice this, but everybody is sort of startled awake by sort of what you would equate to the sound of thunder, and some very bright flashing lights. And as it turns out, there is a portal that has opened, and out of that portal, you see
A storm giant. Oh shit.
that. And we're going to take a quick break to get a drink, and then we'll roll initiative.
That's a big boy.
Whoa.
That is a big boy. And he has very if you look at it up close, well, actually, it's bigger on the map. He's got multiple sets of eyes, which if you try to look at is very awful to try and look at when they have four
Looks
sets
like
of eyes.
it feels like I'm cockeyed right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So this is a very large. This is a very large fey creature, obviously.
Yeah, when you get back, can I make a intelligence roll to figure out what it is? But we'll wait till you get back.
And yeah, and just out of curiosity, did we get our long rest or no?
All of you did.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright, I didn't know if it was.
Yeah, anyone who's resting would, yeah.
Okay, so I can move 25 feet again.
All right, so yeah, you can go ahead and roll, but if you need to get a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit! I think I know what it is.
It's fucking scary.
Well, with 2 nat 20s on an intelligence check, I think I can confirm that. So I hope Caden won't mind, but I'm going to obviously pick some spells for him.
I'm sure it'll be good.
Because for some reason, in this current situation, I don't think we need sending.
You already got that a little bit of the previous die.
Yeah, like I said, we got our worth out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I honestly thought this was going to be a session of Grix going, "I told you so" to Verlin because we were going to get in a fight with the Jester.
Yeah. That was definitely one of the more likely outcomes.
Yeah, I didn't think the outcome we currently would have is we're fixing the issues, the Grey Jester's playing nice, but oh shit, there's something coming through the other side.
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of like how Matt said. He's not really playing nice. He just has nothing else to do right now.
Hey, that's better than him getting pissy and attacking us.
True.
I saw that, Matt.
So what?
Exactly. So yeah, I rolled double nat 20s on an intelligence check.
This appears to be some sort of like fey elemental, nature elemental, but it appears to be like a tainted or corrupted creature.
Lovely. This thing looks like it's going to suck for the person it's going to punch. Claw, stab.
Well, the good news is Grix does not shit himself when he wakes up.
Yeah, because you were asleep, you'd have woken up and seen that.
Yeah.
So-
just nice little yawn getting a first night's good sleep. What the fuck?
So as this creature, in addition to the sound of the portal and the lights and everything, you do this thing like makes a roar of some kind that is quite terrifying and loud. And also, as the portal opens up, you notice that Tormund stands up, and he sort of appears to be changing as the portal opened, and you just have all this magical energy from the Feywild. And that's what I was doing. I was changing his token. Let me move it to the token layer.
We already see it.
Oh yeah, because I put it on the map layer. That's what it was.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's all the masks and everything. That's sort of Tormund's Fey image.
Because that's not fucking creepy at all.
Yeah, the first thing I think, like, that is the equivalent of that. That is what I picture, like, children laughing on a playground, but in the middle of like a fucking cemetery would look like.
I just saw that picture and I was like, yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah.
So, everybody can go ahead and roll initiative. Moira is still concentrating on this ritual.
So she's not
She
in.
can't. Yeah, she can't stop, basically.
Well, Not Horse is going last.
Wait, did you roll 4 and a 3?
Yeah.
Right.
Overall, my rolls have not been fantastic.
Oh, and Tara, I don't know if you were back, but Matt said this is some sort of Fey elemental,
Okay.
which
A
for some
cor-
reason
a-
makes
a
it a little
cor-
bit scarier.
It's sort of a corrupted nature elemental, basically.
Yes, because those words together don't sound terrifying.
So the real question is, what is Tormund gonna do?
I don't know, you tell us. I mean, plus the Seeker, he might help us.
I mean, I think we're on pretty good terms with him, but, you know, he might just fuck you guys and leave.
Yeah, just peace out and teleports.
Yeah.
Plane
Yeah,
shift.
this is not what I signed up for. Yeah, take this thing with you, actually. Plane shift it up.
Where did I put his character sheet?
Yeah, Verlin's just so tired he stood there going, I don't fucking know.
Well, thank God I can at least run my full speed so I can get the fuck out of here.
God, that picture is just so...
I think the one big positive that I can take from this right now is I don't have to worry about casting Mage Armor because I don't think it would make a difference with this thing.
I'm pretty
Like-
sure he could eat you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We'll have to let Pebble get eaten, and then I'll cast Enlarge on her. Get stuck in his throat and choke.
So what? This is great. I'm not gonna do this, but this is great. So you know the gif of Homer Simpson when he like backs into the
Mhm.
the bushes. The Seeker has melded into stone, so he can just back up into the stone like Homer Simpson, just like, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame him, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm about to just turn actually one of the half ogres. I'm about to enlarge them. They'll be almost as big as this thing.
Just do it to me.
Yeah, but I mean they're already large size. You would move up to large. They will move up to what's after large? Is it huge or gigantic?
I think it's huge.
It's huge, and then because this is considered huge, and then it's gigantic after that.
Okay.
So the Seeker goes first, and he is actually going to run over to you, Grix, and he is going to cast Death Ward.
Is that thing in the turn order?
Oh wait, no. Did you? Yeah, I think you missed that one.
I did, yeah.
I said, to be fair, the last thing I want to do is jip you with turns.
Oh, well, look, he rolled a 22. He's first.
So he's gonna eat me before I get the Death Ward.
That sounds like a you problem.
Oh my! Can you imagine that actually being eaten and killed and Death Ward activating and then dying again? Oh my god!
He's going to attack basically the first thing he sees, which is actually the half ogre because it's larger than Pebble. So
Is the initiative messing for anyone else with Pebble at the bottom right now?
yeah, let me.
Yep.
Or is that only on mine?
No, it's the same.
Okay, so it should be right now.
Yeah.
All right. So, we'll just call him the elemental. Just reaches up and is screaming, and just smashes the half ogre, who needs to make a Constitution saving throw first.
The half ogre does?
Yeah.
It should be decent.
Yeah, but that just means, to me, all I'm thinking now is this thing is fucking poisonous when it touches you.
He actually he succeeds. But you can see he punches this guy, and you can see that his left arm and shoulder just basically just go limp. It shatters the bone, and the half ogre sort of yells out in significant pain. And then it is the Seeker's turn, and he will cast Death Ward.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this thing could kill me. Flat out kill me in one hit.
Bonus action spiritual weapon help, please.
That's a level 2 spell.
And he doesn't have it prepared.
Well, shit.
Okay.
It is Pebble's turn.
Okay, Pebble, her newfound ogre friend, has been injured heavily. So she's going to run over to this side and rage.
So is this another excitement roll, or is it just an in combat, the same rolls?
This is 18. Whatever 18 does.
All right. Let me pull it up
Please,
real quick.
the necrotic force. Something.
To be fair, this thing's probably resistant or immune to necrotic.
Yeah, true. Imagine, we thought we were scared of the fucking gray jester, and then this thing pops out.
See, you don't
18. Your body can move much faster than usual. Your movement speed increases by 10 feet, and your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks.
Ooh.
That's a big one.
Fucking swashbuckler.
See, he's only brought this in because we're not picking a fight with the jester.
Yeah.
No, this was actually the rolls. That's why I made you guys roll on that. Because I didn't want to decide to make this thing appear. So I had you guys roll for basically on a random table to see if he would show up.
Oh no, we're just giving you shit.
Yeah, but normally I don't do random tables because I don't like that. So.
And she will whack him twice.
All right, as the case with most large creatures, armor class is low because it's difficult to miss them. So even a 14 hits him. So 15 points of damage. And you can see that as you're attacking him, there's this sort of purplish black, sort of almost like a smoke that as you hit him, sort of spews out from the cuts.
And she's going to hop back 5, 10, 15, 20 and just say hey, and try to get it away from her ogre friend, although I don't know how successful she'll be, being as tiny as she is.
All right, so it's the other half ogre's turn. Let's see. He's running the hell away.
Good choice. That
We
is
do.
his
We
sma-
do.
Oh, we do. Okay.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Oh
It
God.
is the Grey Jester's turn.
Betrayal or not?
Don't do it. Please don't do it. We've been nice. We've been cordial. Got the dude here to send you home. Don't fuck us over. Or if you do, just go through the fucking portal.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think he realizes he doesn't need this guy anymore because the portal is open. So I don't think he has much of a reason not to fuck us over.
Well, if he takes that option, it's still better than him attacking us.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I rolled a d10. 1 to 5 was going to be him heading for the portal. The other one was going to be him fighting, and I rolled a 3, so he's going to jump into the portal and leave.
I will openly accept that because it's him not attacking us.
Yep, so he takes the... Interestingly, since he's gone now, I can tell you, he's actually not dangerous in the sense that he wouldn't do a lot of damage to you. However,
Oh yeah, I've read up on Grey Jesters. They're not overly powerful, but they've got some pretty funky abilities.
I mean, they have a lot of resistance. It just seem like to be a pain in the ass to put down.
Yeah. Wait, does Grix have haste?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Nope, not yet. That's one of the spells I tried to see if I could find, but I was not unable to. For my level, I took wait, what was it? Yeah, I took remove. No, not remove curse. I took counterspell and see invisibility.
I mean, they're two
Because see
pretty good
invisibility.
spells.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all the divination ones possible.
Which makes sense.
Ben, his internet went down again.
Seems like it.
More internet fun.
actually dropped entirely.
Yay for internet problems.
All right, so hold on, because I just tried to. I was gonna. I got on my phone to like just log into the Discord so that I could talk, but then my internet came back. So, what? Where did I lose everybody?
You were
You
describing
were-
Grey Jesters.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Grey Jesters is when you attack or when they attack. It's like Tasha's hideous laughter. If you have to roll a wisdom saving throw, or you begin laughing uncontrollably and are completely incapacitated. And if you don't make that saving throw, you just have to keep trying until you. Otherwise, you're just incapacitated until you eventually make that save. Additionally, they're immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage that are from non-magical weapons, and they are resistant to all forms of magic.
Yeah, so they're not
So I would be
powerful, but
completely
they are
useless.
difficult.
So they're difficult to take down because everything is basically halved or negated entirely. additionally, they can do that feeding thing that I was like sort of basically what he's done to the half ogres to make them his thralls, I guess. So they can even do that in combat. You have to make a charisma saving throw, and if you fail the saving throw, you lose a hit dice, and if you lose all your hit dice, you actually become a thrall of the jester. But if he does that during combat, his ability to his resistance, his immunity to damage becomes resistance, and then he loses his magical resistance. So, yeah, they're difficult, but they're not going to straight up like this. The elemental, which will cut you in half or beat you into a pulp. The jester won't do that because they don't actually do that much damage.
Yeah, it's kind of a different way to ruin someone's day.
Yeah, it's like a battle of attrition, really, because they're hard to kill, and it's basically just wearing everybody down is how that fight would have gone had you fought him.
Mm-hmm.
Partially why he had his half ogres with him to try and punch you, but he's gone. So, and the reality is that if you had become one, they're called bleak ones. The people that are enthralled to them, you would basically have to roll another character because you lose the ability to do anything that the jester doesn't tell you to do. So yeah, it's essentially killing the character. So it is our other half ogres, and he just got smashed, and he is going to try and run and take an attack of opportunity. And he does not make it. So Pebble has lost her playmate.
No.
And
The rage builds.
Yeah, so that half ogre died in 2 hits. What is this thing gonna do to me?
Well, to be fair, this is the again, I'm gonna metagame it myself. Half ogres don't have very much hit points. By default, they only have 30. They only have 30 hit points by default. They are challenge rating 1.
All right, never mind.
Even so, he did at least 30 damage in 2 hits.
Yeah. Still nothing I want to be part of.
But it is your turn.
Yeah, with that being said, Grix is going to 1, 2, 3, 4. And as he gets right here, I have one more bit of movement after this. I am going to look at that thing and...
Come on, you got Death Ward. Stand up.
Yeah.
Be a man.
I'm gonna run in and hit it with my quarterstaff. All right. I will go ahead and draw an incantation in the air with my hand, and send some purplish magic energy at it, and cast a Mind Spike. Wisdom save.
Damn.
+0 to wisdom save. Rolled a 16.
That matches. So does that succeed then?
Yeah.
Okay. So half that. So 10 points of damage. And my last bit of movement, I am hiding. Oh, wait. And actually, because it is another new day. 17 and the 6.
Do you want to give him the 6 and make him fail?
Nah. I would have had to do it before, and I completely forgot until I just remembered it was the next day. And that is my full movement. I'm done.
It is Caden's turn.
I very much don't think Caden wants to get close to this thing, and Pebbles run just a little too far away. So, I'm going to have him cast Bless. And I'm going to choose the Seeker, Verlin, and Grix. So that's a D4 to saving throws and attack rolls. And for bonus action, does he have a spiritual weapon?
He can't cast it since he would be casting 2 spells in the same turn. Then one's not a cantrip.
Okay, does he have any bonus action cantrips?
Probably not a bonus action cantrip. Most of the bonus actions would probably be the spells.
I mean, he
And
has
he'd be able to
Spare
do
the
it.
Dying, which is a bonus action.
Spare the Dying? I thought was an action.
Not for a Grave Cleric.
Oh. Then yeah, he'd be able to do that.
I'm just gonna put. Yeah, I'm gonna use this one just because. And Verlin, you had Bless too.
Yes, so the three of us have Bless, and I've put the blue token for concentration.
I was just like World of Warcraft Divine Shield. That was kind of my thought with that.
For now, I will leave it as that and leave him where he is.
All right. Not Horse's turn.
Okay, so as a bonus action, I shall cause my greatsword to burst into flame. I shall take a Hemocraft die damage.
I think you're cutting out.
Oh, it's doing it again, god damn it.
Or I'm cutting out. I don't know which one.
I hear you perfectly, Matt.
Okay.
Any better? Any better?
Yep.
Okay, so I take 1 point of damage to activate my Crimson Right. And I shall do the incredibly smart thing and move up to engage the Nightmare Fuel. Because that's what smart people do. And because I've not actually used this yet, as a free action when I hit a creature, I shall brand it with the Brand of Castigation. So anytime this creature takes an attack against me or anyone else, it will take psychic damage equal to my intelligence modifier. So 3 psychic damage.
That's a lot of damage.
It adds up over time.
Well, I mean, just total of those hits.
Oh yeah, yeah, shit. Yeah, because of Great Weapon fighting, I get to reroll 1s and 2s.
So that's 44 damage.
Yeah, and that's technically magical damage due to the Crimson Right.
He is not resistant to non-magic. No, he is. I take that back. He is resistant to non-magical weapons. So yeah, he takes the full damage from that.
Yep, like I said, if he makes an attack against me or anyone else, he takes 3 psychic damage per attack.
Nice.
So I will end my dumbass turn here. Because yay!
And it is his turn.
Yay!
All right. So he definitely hits you. And you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
18.
All right. So that is enough.
That's that's good to hear for an 18.
Well, the reality is that because again, I don't know how much it matters. It is a DC 18 Constitution saving throw. So you
Okay.
just got it.
That's not good news.
So he takes 3 points of damage.
Yes.
And you take 27 points of damage.
Fun.
And that will be his turn because he only attacks once, but he hits pretty hard, so it doesn't really matter. So the Seeker's turn. He is thinking about melding into stone.
Good choice.
Let's see. What is this? 30 feet. Having seen you run up and do that, the Seeker will cast haste on Verlin.
Oh shit, I need to add that into the modifiers now.
+2 to AC. Advantage on dex saves.
Yeah, double movement and basically an extra attack.
And then I'll just put the boot on there. Can't see it because the creature's so big. Let's see, does he make bonus actions?
Bonus action healing word?
Believe it or not, he doesn't have that prepared. So again, you can do a bonus action spell as long as one of them is a cantrip, right?
I believe so.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. He doesn't.
I don't think any of his cantrips would probably be.
No, they're not. So he's done. And Pebble, it is your turn.
Yep. Pebble runs 5, 10. Right at him. Whacks him twice with her short sword.
Those both hit.
Hitting.
And this time stays.
All right. Give me a second.
I think if she goes thereabouts, she gives Verlin flanking.
Yeah, he would also give you self-flanking.
Well, she hit anyway, so it doesn't really. Let me see. Huh. Okay, that's a weird. Never mind. Is that all you're doing, Pebble?
Yep.
All right, Grix, you're up.
All right. I'm so tempted to try something, but I really don't think it would work anything because I'm assuming. Do I know anything about like natural corruption type stuff? Like, is it like magical? Is it curses? Is it like disease?
I would say it's probably closest to like a disease or a sickness.
Okay.
The effects of it act in similar ways to that.
Okay. Because I was thinking about maybe trying to remove curse, but I just had a feeling that with natural stuff it wouldn't be cursed. It would probably be more like that kind of disease stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like it would be more. I mean, it's not really a poison, but it's more of that sort of effect where it's not a magical effect. It's just a
Okay.
Kind
Right.
of like a what's it, like a twig,
like what?
twig blight?
Similar. I mean, this creature has what is essentially corruption effects. You've all successfully saved against them, so
I'm gonna move there. This in here is open, right? I can see through it.
yes.
Okay. So I think I have an angle to shoot straight through him. And this time I'm going to make him roll a 6 on his saving throw. And I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt.
Nice damage.
Not the best damage, but not terrible either.
It's better than ones.
Very true. So I've moved 5, 10. I'll move 15, 20. I will get right up against this with my back to it and just silently cry a little bit.
So Grix is trying to meld into stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caden, it is your turn.
I don't think would anyone be too upset if I had him healing word Verlin.
Nope.
Especially because the Seeker's actually not. He's a cleric of mask. He's actually not much of a healer.
So I'll upcast it.
He's really good at stealth. Like melding into stone. And he can cast non-detection and then silence, and he has the ability to sudden shift. All kinds of crazy stuff, but...
That's not right.
Yeah, it is. You rolled... Oh, wait, no, that's just... Yeah. No, that should have one more D4 in it.
Yeah, just about to say that's slightly off.
So just do an extra D4 and it should be good.
Plus 15.
So 15. Pretty good.
Well, yeah, considering with one attack he knocks the shit out of Erlen, yeah.
I mean, just stop being scared. Just let yourself get knocked out and then he could heal you for full.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize haste was a concentration spell.
It is? Oh, yeah, it is. And considering that was a bonus action, I would like to Toll the Dead as an action cantrip.
Okay. I really did not pay enough attention to these spells for the Seeker when I made his character sheet. I never intended to use him in combat, really, and almost all of his spells are concentration. So it's like, well, shit.
I think it's a DC 16 Wisdom save, please.
11.
Okay, he takes 2d12. Oh, shit.
Wow.
Holy shit!
It's about as good as it gets.
Yeah. I really
Wow.
wasn't expecting
From
that
a
much.
cantrip!
Usually with like Toll the Dead, when you're doing the D12s, you get like 4 damage.
Nice.
All right. Is he going to move?
No, I think he's happy where he is.
All right. It is your turn, Verlin.
So, realising this definitely isn't something we wish to fight for an extended period of time, Verlin will take 1 cross slash going down from top right to bottom left, a slash the opposite way from top left to bottom right, then swivel on the ball of his foot and slash across.
Get out a calculator for your damage.
17 is 31 is
50.
Yeah. Wow.
Definitely not bad.
That's not bad at all.
What did your AC go up to with haste?
With haste and 18.
Nice.
And considering it's this creature's turn next, I will be using a reaction just to give you a heads up before you tell me if it hits or not. Okay?
Okay.
But that is the end of my turn.
Now, does he take an additional 3 as well?
No, if he attacks,
Be tax, okay.
yes.
Like, isn't it only if he attacks, not you?
No, it's just I'll roll it up. I'll put it in chat again. Damage to you or a creature you can see within 5 feet of you. Oh yeah, so it's got, as long as it's either me or something next to me, you take psychic damage. But I assume he's going to be punching me, considering I've just done 50 points of damage.
Actually, This guy has a rather interesting ability that he's about to use.
That does
you-
not affect you if you're hiding on the other side of a rock, right?
Well, you say that, but considering the fact that he's flanked by these people that are doing a lot of damage, and then there was a little creature that shot him with a lightning bolt, it's not. But what he does is, for lack of a better term, he uses Dimension Door to appear right behind you.
Then I know for a fact he's going to attack, so I would like to spend a Hemocraft die. Oh no, he only has one attack, doesn't he?
Yep.
Then I don't have to. I will spend my Blood Curse of the Eyeless. So on his next attack, I roll Hemocraft die, and I'll reduce his attack by that amount.
It ain't gonna matter.
I mean, I'm trying, my dude.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
So
All right, so it was a 21 to hit.
-3.
So -3 would be
18.
18. So even if I use shield, I'm still hit. So yeah.
Constitution saving throw.
I tried.
Oh fuck! Do you have my new character sheet ready? Oh my god! Thank
Oh.
you. Thank God.
You guys have all saved against corruption, but however, he like dematerializes in front of Verlin and Pebble, and then just appears behind you without you sort of realizing this massive creature is behind you, and he slams you into the ground, and you take 28 points of damage.
I'm still. Well, I'm not standing, obviously, but I'm not dead.
I mean, would
Well,
you like?
you're not technically prone or anything. He didn't knock you down, although.
I know, but I mean,
Yeah.
Just let's
Well,
say-
you didn't say like smash you. You're kind of like up against that stone. He basically tried to meld you into stone.
Yeah.
do you want to make another wisdom check to see if you shit your pants now?
I think it would be Constitution this time because he literally just pushed me into a fucking wall.
Well, there you go. This is 22. You
yeah,
saved
yeah.
it,
There's
right?
a little bit of poop coming out. It's okay.
All right, it's the Seeker's turn, who has been not particularly useful here. Because he really doesn't have a lot of great spells, because I, again, never intended to use him in combat.
I mean, to be fair, we didn't actually intend to use him today. Full stop.
Well, that's the funny thing, too, right? Like I had no, like, you... It would have been really cool because he's level 13. It wouldn't have been nice to have just randomly have a level 13 character here to help in this fight, but he's useless. What's even funnier is because he's a cleric of mask, his channel divinity basically just makes him invisible. Like he can hide. He can make mask hide him from everyone.
I mean,
He can hide in the shadows. So it's like it doesn't help in a fight. It just helps him run away.
he's got to have something like guiding bolt.
His cantrips are Spare the Dying, Resistance, and Sacred Flame.
I mean, Sacred Flame's better than fuck all.
So let's
Fine.
see.
I mean, come on. I'm able to withstand a hit from this guy. It's nothing.
Yeah, but we like this guy.
He does have Cure Wounds.
Yeah, but the question is he going in there to cast it?
Oh God, no.
Oh yeah, because Cure Wounds is touch.
Hmm?
Look, he already cast Death Warder, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's funny is like he has non-detection and meld into stone, and his Cloak of Shadows is his channel divinity, and he has greater invisibility, and he has Mislead, which basically makes him a double. And then he has Plane Shift. It's like all of his spells are like
Non-combative.
yeah, and they're situational. Like the idea of him is hiding basically. So I guess Sacred Flame's about all that he can do, or he can run up there and try and attack with a dagger.
Sacred Flame all the way.
All right, Sacred Flame. So wait a minute, I don't think that's enough damage. No, it's not.
No.
So he's level 3rd, so it should be 3d8. d8 here. So it would be 18 damage if
Nice.
dexterity saving throw.
Just want to say, I'm assuming Grix is going to action get the fuck out.
Sure.
So it, I guess if you save against the dexterity saving throw, you take no damage because
Yeah.
it doesn't say half or
Yeah.
anything.
Nope. Yep. It's no damage with the cantrip.
So he rolled an 18 on the dex check, so he does not do any damage at all.
Okay.
And he's maintaining concentration on haste, so it is your turn, Pebble.
Alright, Pebble runs all the way down here and whacks him twice.
Ooh, nice.
Please be a good crit table. Please be a good crit table.
Okay, so the second one doesn't it because you're not reckless or anything, right?
No.
So that doesn't- okay, so do you even have reckless? Is that a thing that
Yep.
you're okay? All right, so D100. Ooh, 91, the higher the better.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's gonna be something like you stab him in the head, which is physically pretty much impossible for Pebble to do.
You could run up the limbs, you
Yeah.
know, do the Legolas thing.
You poke him in the eye, he dies.
Fucking splinter underneath the toenail.
All right. So this is called Find an Opening. It is maximum damage, and then roll 2d4.
12 plus 6 would be 18. Would be the max damage.
All right, so he takes 18 points of damage, and it's 2d4 plus 2, so you have advantage on your attacks against him for the next 8 rounds.
Wow.
Wow.
That's actually pretty badass. I'd actually definitely take that over doing just more damage for one turn. That could lead to more crits.
That's why Reckless is always the best option.
All right. Grix.
Yep. Just going to not even move. Just gonna speak an incantation, and I will appear. It needs to be somewhere I can see. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, right over here. I will go ahead and cast a ray of frost at him for 5 damage. And
Okay.
then that the Misty Step does not count as my movement, right? I still have my 25 feet.
Don't believe it does.
Okay, so yeah. So then 5, 10, 15, 20. Well, actually, no, you know what? 5, 10, 15. I'm going over here into the bushes, try my best to fucking hide. And that is it.
Caden's turn.
I'll have Caden move 20 feet to go up to Grix. And cast Cure Wounds. Second level. For 18 hit points. I'll move him 10 feet closer to the action again. That's his turn.
All right.
So with Verlin's effective 60 feet of movement, because that's a ridiculous thing to say, he'll move 45 feet running around the pillars. And again try to cross slash and with his final one swivel on his foot and cut this creature along its back.
$23 plus 9 is 32.
Yeah, that's also a 31,
45.
not 20.
That's 67 points of damage.
Plus I need to roll it on the crit table.
You don't, because he's done.
Wow.
Yeah, haste is pretty good. Somebody needs to learn haste. All right. Oops, I killed you instead.
Kylo just cheers.
Is it like clear that this thing is down? Like it's done moving and stuff?
Well, if it helps clear Grix's mind, I'll step onto its corpse and drive my sword through its throat to the other side.
Yeah, Pebble probably needs to move because it probably would have fallen that way because he ran behind it so I'm not gonna make it do a dexterity saving throw, but he's probably laying out instead of just like falling into a exact position he's in. There's no way to make the token longer. I guess there is. You could do that.
All right. Well, I want to run up to it. Since I've already stolen a piece of, or picked up a piece of diseased bark in a different part of the forest, I want to like find a part of him that looks like it's somewhat diseased and cut it off with a dagger. And then, does it have any sort of blood or anything?
It has what appears to be more like a dark kind of sap rather than blood.
All right. So I have I put the other piece of diseased bark into a vial. I will put this piece of diseased elemental into the vial, and then I have 3 more vials. I just want to get 1 vial of its like ichor or whatever, the sap.
Okay. And seeing as you don't need him anymore, the seeker melds into stone. And this whole time, like, Moira has been sort of like just continuing her sort of incantations and kind of like looking worriedly behind her and everything. And now you can see that she's relaxed a little bit, but she's still continuing this because you get the idea. And she may have mentioned it prior that like she has to maintain it. She can't stop once it starts, or it'll fail and she'll have to start all over again.
Well, luckily we managed to kill this before it got too out of hand.
That was great. He's so giant.
Grix is just bloody and bruised and cut and just looks at you like, nah, not out of hand. Yeah.
Caden, could you give me assistance trying to take something off this creature, please?
Interestingly as well, because you all saved against it, I'll give you some. I won't go into the details. I'll just mention some of the effects from the corruption. There's you could have a dead eye, ear scabs, fingers and toes fused together, joint pain, the odor of decay, a paralyzed face, uncontrollable seizures, palsy, skin seeps, blood eruption, thickened skin, chronic illness. Your lungs could be eaten away. You could grow skin lichen. Your skin could slough off. So there was all kinds
elemental.
there was all kinds of things that you avoided there.
Thank God. So I'm gonna, not in a creepy way, I'm gonna try and take this creature's eyes for my experiments.
He did that in air quotes. His experiments.
Yes, air quotes, experiments.
Yes.
So do advantage due to the assistance.
So you can see that the portal itself is you can still see like it's still flickering. You can see it. It's not opened, but it isn't. It's still sort of flashing.
We should probably keep an eye out, but get some rest in case anything else comes through. And I'll go back to keeping watch on the portal.
The seeker asks as well, like if everyone's done with this body, he will actually banish this body. Well, I guess he won't banish it. He can't because he doesn't have that spell already. I forgot.
Well, that's why we were sleeping. He might have it ready.
Oh yeah,
now.
he would. Yeah, yep, he would. So yeah, he will banish the body to just so that this doesn't stay here and possibly
spread corruption.
Spread corruption.
I've taken something for my experiments, and if anyone else wants anything from it.
I mean, I just am interested in, like, I maybe the whole sap and stuff will be something that Caden would use, like with potions or anything like that. But yeah, I'm more interested in like the actual disease pieces of this to see if it has any connection with the diseased bark that I took from the tree in the other part of the forest.
Pebbles just gonna steal a tooth.
Yeah, if that's the
It's
case,
pretty big.
With the 21, would I been able to have given Caden some possible alchemical ingredients?
Yeah.
Yeah, apart from that, I don't think anyone else truly needs anything from it.
All right, so the seeker will banish the corpse, and then also ask if there's anything else that you need from him. If not, he will make his exit. Because he doesn't have any ability to do anything regarding the portal itself.
I mean, I won't mind him staying to cast another haste if something else comes through.
I mean, no, we would probably just Grix would probably just, well, no, we hopefully more will be done soon, and this will be sealed. So we apologize for calling. You didn't really have to come, so thank you.
Well, I did say that I would assist you if you agree to assist me, and so we'll consider this a down payment for your assistance at a later date.
Grix just nods, and he's just done. He's not. He's still tired, exhausted anyway from the previous day, and he is just miserable after being almost one shot.
So the seeker will sort of bow, and then he'll sort of head off, and then as he does, you watch, and he just kind of like, because this is all he's good at, he just kind of fades away, and you kind of just disappears, and you can't see him anymore. Makes him a good spy, but not a particularly good cleric.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's hope nothing like that comes through again.
I don't know. I think it went pretty good.
Grix kind of just looks at her incredulously, like,
You
good,
survived.
Good.
You survived.
I'm in a lot of pain.
It could have gone a lot worse.
Wow, but did you see how you hit him with your sword super hard?
I certainly did. That was the intentions.
Grix, can you do that moving fast, whacking a bunch of times thing to me?
If when we get back into the city, maybe I could go to the school and look to see if I can learn it.
She gets very excited. I'll be right back, moving around the animals.
Okay.
Grix.
He kind of just raises his eyes and looks up at you.
Well, without looking at you, if we were not here, then yes, nothing we would have done would have affected the jester. But that thing would have came through with no one here to stop it. And while in both our respects we were correct, I am happy you decided to stay and help, because if none of us were here, that thing so close to this town would have been a disaster. So thank you.
It's nothing to thank for. It's just my concern was the jester, and it ended up being much more difficult than dealing with him.
That's the drawback when trying to find a solution other than combat. Sometimes things like this happen which you don't expect, but you learn to deal with it after enough time.
Yes, I was doing a decent job dealing with it until he appeared in front of me. That I was not expecting.
Well, I don't think any of us were expecting that, so don't feel too bad. But yes, let's just hope that nothing else comes through before the ritual is finished.
Yeah, Grix, no, there probably isn't anyway. Is there anywhere, like, can I see, like, is the portal entrance, like, just right in this area, or is it kind of like, just all around?
It's mainly in that center area. It's
Okay.
probably maybe 10 feet.
Okay.
Up.
Well, then just in case, so I'll have an exact warning. I'll go ahead and start casting alarm as a ritual just throughout the area where this thing appeared. So just if anything else does pop through, I'll have, in case no one's looking at the area at that exact moment, might have a bit of a heads up.
Okay.
And then
yeah,
come
I
back.
mean, at this point, it is probably so what it was. It's early morning at this point. So I would say that Moira has at this point finished, and you see that she sort of just almost collapses afterwards. She seems on the verge of basically just unconsciousness, but you can hear her sort of like sigh and say, "Done."
Thank you.
And
Pebble uses her lingering magic to see how much more she's glowing.
it's a bit more. It's not. It's noticeable, but it's not like crazy. Actually, let me double check something real quick. Moira tells you all that she's going to return to Ellendale and request that that other druids come and do this properly.
Well, I mean, there are a lot more stones, so yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like the one that she did is not enough to like keep this closed for long, essentially.
But it does appear that when she finished, it has closed
yes,
again?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can still see the magical energy sort of swirling around. If all the stones were active, you wouldn't see sort of that you can see on the map, stuff. You wouldn't see that there at all. They would just look like stones in the ground if all the stones were actually active. The
So that's
reason
not
that
really
you can-
magic from the stones, then. That's more the okay.
Yeah, it's just the magical energy of the area that would needs to be sealed, basically. So yeah, like under normal circumstances, they would just look like weird stones in the ground. So she is going to go to the Forest of Dreams over in Ellendale to request that the other druids there attempt to seal this for good. She does tell you that she's happy to return to the call when she's done, but as a member rather than a servant.
I believe that's perfectly fine, considering you've basically just helped seal a minor tear to the Feywild. Don't see an issue with that whatsoever.
I'm going to pull out my my coin pouch and hand her 15 gold pieces and just this should be helpful to safely make your way back to the other druids.
And she takes it and sort of smiles, and you see she slowly gets up, and kind of stretches a little bit because she's been sitting for hours, and she smiles at everybody, and she takes the money from you, Grix, and she says, "Well, I'll see you soon, darling." On the nose, a bird, and flies off.
Rick kind of looks at everyone else, kind of bright red, and just very very nice of her, but she is strange.
And she is.
Yes, but she seems quite strange for you, dear Grix.
Yeah. Well, that and he kind of just like starts muttering to himself, and like you kind of like can pick up like my father didn't like me not following his footsteps. Like anything out of like the gnomish race is not going to work, so he's kind of just muttering and walking around.
Well, how about for now we return to the city? I believe we will need to come back out here to help the priest who is currently mind controlled, but for now we should return.
When we
Alright.
pass back through Trackford, we could perhaps tell some of the guard about the priest, and maybe just even if they can't help him, they can keep an eye to make sure nothing happens further.
Agreed. They should at least have the warning.
All right. So we'll just have you guys do that, rather than role play it.
Yeah,
And
as
then
long as they have
guys-
an idea of why the
Yeah.
guy is crazy and stuff, I'll be happy.
So you can return to Rivengard, return to Hamswick Hall. It'll take a little bit of time to get there. Probably it'll be close to evening on the next day, or the same day as that morning that you left Moira. Before you finally get back to the hall, and when you
Well,
do,
Real quick, there wasn't stables at the guild hall, right?
correct. There's stables in the district.
Yeah. So as we're like getting there, I'll look to Pebble and just say, we should go put Carrot and Jack back at the stable. I don't think Nyx would be too happy about us bringing them back to the hall.
Pebble just has a really sad look on her face and is like, I guess.
We could give the people at the stables a bit of extra coin to make sure they're happy.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll do that, then head back. And I think when we left, was Quinn gone?
Yep.
Okay.
And he's still not there.
Yeah, okay.
But
The Nyx guy is?
Yeah, Nyx is there. I don't know if I specifically told you, but he had made mention that Ada ran into some trouble at Eastkeep, and that's where he was going. And Eastkeep is over here on the eastern side of the map. There, that's where Quinn is headed.
Do we know anything about that area? Like, did any of us like pass through there on our way to Rivengard or anything?
The only person who might have would been Caden. Eastkeep has sort of been a I don't want to say it's like it has a strange history. It's served in many different capacities. Where it's right now, it is sort of as a it's mostly like a military base at this point, because it is at the crossroads essentially of the three sort of nations. So Ninmar to the north, and then Tredevoria to the south and the east, and then obviously it sits within the city-state of Rivengard. So it's kind of like a watch, essentially, it's a border watch for all intents and purposes, because it's just because of its location. But it's been it's got a pretty long and bloody history of combat because of its location and because of where it sits.
Okay.
But currently it is where there isn't a standing army for the city-state, but what passes as military border patrol, I guess, is situated in Eastkeep.
Okay.
So putting two and two together, you might imagine that Ada, having left Rivengard and returned, might have something to do with why she ran into trouble there.
Okay.
But Nyx is there, and Nyx actually does inform you that you have been summoned by Magistrate Summers, Lord Summers.
Should we get this done before we turn in for the night?
It'd be the next day.
Okay.
It'd be in the morning that you would. I mean, essentially at your earliest convenience, but you wouldn't go there this late at night.
Well, let us get a good night's sleep, and we can pay him a visit in the morning. How does that all sound?
Yep, that sounds fine.
Yep.
Oh, great.
Sounds good.
I also have a book here I wanted you to read.
A book?
Yeah, I'll hand him a book from my sheet. So I'll put it in chat so you can have a look at it yourself. There's always more to learn about creatures and just what's in the academy. Same with magic.
He'll look up and nod at Verlin and just, do you mind if I hold on to it while I read it? And like he's like already has his hand in his bag shifting books around and stuff.
Of course, just take care of it. This should explain why I tried to find an alternate solution. It explains a lot of misconceptions about creatures. But I hope you find it helpful in your research.
And as you say, like, make sure you take care of it. Like, his bag is ripped and torn and has ink and stuff all over it, but every single one of his books is pristine. So, like, it looks like he treats the books very well, and everything else is just an afterthought.
Yeah, as long as it comes back in good condition, he should be safe.
I got mending and prestidigitation. You're fine.
Yeah, and this is you. As he hands it to you, you can see that this is a very, very old book.
Okay. All right, yeah. He'll thank you and nod and look to Nyx and just explain to him, Moira is off on business, but she's done a great deed for the area. So if we're not here when Quinn returns, please inform him that. And he looks around to everyone here, and he just goes, I believe all of us will vouch for her to become a full member of the guild.
Yep.
No longer a servant.
He sort of sighs and like, that's fine. Just more paperwork for me. And you can see he like starts getting out some papers and immediately starts writing and stuff.
You complain, but you enjoy it rarely, don't you?
He sort of just sniffs. It's like, he does, but he doesn't want to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. But we should all get some rest. It's been a tough couple of days.
Grix makes his way over to his chair that he usually sits on, and he just puts his bag up on it, pulls another chair close to it, and just pushes them together to make a little bed.
Pebble just goes on a bench.
Yeah, all the same. Verlin doesn't need a comfy night's sleep.
All right. So, the next morning, and actually, if y'all don't mind, what I'm going to do here is because we're missing Caden, I don't want to get into a big long
Lore dump.
well, it's not so much a lore dump, but I don't want to go into a big long like sort of role play with like Summers. So what I'm going to do is just sort of like give you the synopsis of everything real quick, because in reality, I mean, there's not a whole lot of role play to do with it. Like essentially, what he's is offering you the rewards that were promised. So he's and part of the reason that I kind of want to skip that is because I'm pretty excited to give you the stuff that he's going to give you. So he mentions a couple of things. One, he looks a little bit disappointed that Quinn's not there, because actually Quinn was also invited to this. So he sort of like says, "Oh, that's fine here," and give him this, and you're free to look at it. He doesn't say that it's specifically just for Quinn, but what it is actually a deed to a new guild hall.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. So I will.
Nyx will be of more use with that than Quinn would be.
Probably, but and Summer sort of chuckles at that. But says, "Well, then give it to give it to Nyx, whoever is it." But he explains that he had promised you gold. However, he says, with my apologies, I met with my contacts to acquire some items with the money that I offered you, and decided to do that instead. So
Grix looks immediately disappointed because money equals spells.
Right. So he first off, he actually, to Caden as well, he gives Caden a book, and the book, just so that you guys are aware of it, obviously I'll explain more to him, but it appears to be a very, very old book, and it appears to be related to Kelemvor specifically. So I won't go into it because he's not here, but that's what he gets. Pebble. He also says that he did a little bit of research on you guys, and he heard of the things that you had done, and he had heard from the the guards in Trockford. Rumors had been spreading of you assisting in a murder investigation and all that kind of stuff. And he talked to the other people that you had dealt with, to kind of get an idea about who you guys are and what your specialties are and things like that. And that's why he gave Kellum the book of Kellenborg to Caden there. But Pebble, you use a shield, do you not?
Yeah.
Okay. So he offers you a shield. And it is a rather large shield. Very heavy. And here, let me see if this will. I'm gonna put. This is an item that I'll show to you, but I'm gonna put the image in Discord as well, so that everybody can see it. So that's what the shield looks like. It is made from volcanic glass and sort of this heavy steel. It's very, very ornate, and it's very. I mean, you can use you're small, but you could still use it. However, it's extremely unwieldy and difficult to move. But it is quite beautiful, and he tells you that it does have a few additional properties aside from a shield. And I'm not going to make you identify. I'm just going to tell you what it is. So here's the interesting thing. Because it's so unwieldy and difficult to move, this is a shield that actually drops your AC by 1. The shield itself is called the Bastion. However, it does, because of the unwieldiness, it is the -1 to AC. However, it does grant you 2 additional advantages. So, immovable object. While you have this shield equipped, you can spend a reaction to a creature's attack and grant yourself advantage against any forced movement effect.
Pretty
so if
cool.
if something's being pushed, if you're being pushed back 10 feet, you have advantage. You can use a reaction with advantage to stop that from happening. Additionally, it is infallible. There's a skill. It's a thing. It's infallible. So it says, while this shield is equipped, you are immune to the prone condition. I'll let everybody look at it here, but I'll put it in your.
Cool.
So if you want to lose 1 AC, actually I guess probably 2 AC, because you drop the shield, the one from +1 from
Shield
the
are
shield.
+2, aren't they?
Yeah, it's -3 AC.
Okay, -3 AC. So
Devil likes getting hit anyway.
well, you already have a ridiculously high AC.
Yep, it'll be 16 with the shield.
So pretty darn good, especially because of that. Like, you never ever be a prone, which is pretty cool. So there's that, and I actually just moved it to your character sheet. So for Verlin, you get a sword. It is a long sword. It is not a great sword. It is a sword called the Crimson Nightmare.
That doesn't sound foreboding at all.
It is not a cursed weapon. It is a +2 long sword. And it is versatile, so you can use it as basically a slashing 1d8, or secondary damage being like a 1d10, as far as like when you use it two-handed.
I can also use a shield with it.
Correct. However, that's not all. This is I chose this sword because I thought it was very fitting for a blood hunter. So this is why I mentioned earlier that you're either gonna love this or hate it. So it is a +2, so it's +2 to attack and +2 to damage. Part of the reason that you might not like it is because you're gonna have to do math all the time.
Well, that's what
But,
the modifiers are for.
So you've got, well, this is a little different. This actually grants 4 additional things to it. So the first one is called First Blood. So once you lose 40% of your total hit points, as an action, you can expend 2 hit dice and impale yourself with the blood, or impale yourself with a blade in an explosion of blood that coats the blades in your sort of like tainted mutant blood. And once doing that, your attacks gain the reach property, which means that it's 10 feet instead of 5 feet. And you deal 1d10 slashing damage and an additional 1d10 necrotic damage after you use 40% of your total health. That's just the first thing. So the second thing, so basically this is the trade-off, right? So this is similar to the Blood Hunter in that you gain more power as you hurt yourself. So First Blood is once 40%, you can do that. In addition, it's sort of like as part of like a continuation of after you've activated First Blood, you also have the ability called Bloody Rise. So you pick one square within 60 feet of your position, and you raise straight up into the air and crash land there with an explosion of blood. So every creature within 10 feet of your landing space takes 2d10 necrotic damage. And that consumes your movement action, and it can only be done a number of times equals to your proficiency modifier while the First Blood is active. So see, this is why I thought you might hate me, because there's a lot of stipulations for how to use this. This is almost a class within a sword. So you can do that. And then there is the third thing is expunge the blood. As an action, you can expunge the corrupted blood in a visceral explosion. Every creature within 20 feet with a 20-foot sphere centered on yourself. So this is to everyone, including your allies. Has to make a dexterity saving throw with a DC equal to 8 plus your proficiency modifier plus your charisma modifier, taking 2d10 damage on a failed save and half as much on a success. So it's an AoE attack, basically. And then finally is the Burning Blood skill. So if you lose 75% of your total hit points, as an action, you can give more to the Accursed Blade, levitating above the ground momentarily as the Crimson Blade siphons blood from the surrounding area. The blood is coated in boiling blood and radiating heat. Your attacks gain the long range reach property, or the long reach property, and deals an additional 1d10 fire damage. And all abilities usable in First Blood are also available when you're at this level as well.
So if he goes that low and then gets healed, does it stay on?
No. So
okay. So if you go back over the threshold, you lose it.
Correct. So if he goes back up above 75% of, or above 25% of his health, then you would lose that ability. So again, this is that sort of that trade-off. Where is it like you can use this, but you're about to die when you use it, right? So this is the Crimson Blade, or the Crimson Nightmare.
Nice.
Wow.
So see, this seems better than gold, right?
That's one way to put it.
So both of these things, actually, all the things that I'm giving you, actually, we talked about earlier, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do. So the if you look at it, the Crimson Nightmare is actually the picture of it is part of it, but is also inspired by the Rakuyo from the Born game.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the only thing I'd probably ask for a slight change is for the expunge the blood to change the charisma modifier to, if it's like going along with the Blood Hunter, maybe intelligence modifier.
Yeah, the reason I did a charisma is because I didn't want it to be your main because it's already super powerful. So like I felt like giving it to your main stat makes it ridiculous, honestly even more ridiculous.
Oh, that's fair.
And does the expunge thing I mean, expunge makes it sound like it gets rid of the blood. So does that get rid of the first blood and stuff?
Actually, you know what? I take it. Sorry, I take it back. Let's change it. I'll update it. I'm gonna change the intelligence modifier. Let's do that. Well, what is your intelligence modifier?
At the moment, it's a +2 or a 3. 1 second. It's a
Because
+2.
actually, we might do it too. And what's your charisma modifier? -1.
Yes, -1. I'm not a charisma character.
You know, let's just do it this way. Let's just make it a DC 14
Okay.
for now. I'll just change it to DC 14. I'll get rid of that stuff. That's just easier anyway. Because I was thinking, like, I mean, if we did with I was thinking about, I originally intended it to be a +10. I don't know why I added +8, but yeah. So for now we'll keep it at DC 14. I mean, we might change that at a later date. I mean, because the idea, like, if at higher levels, if this starts to become kind of weak, we might be able to tweak it a little bit.
God, the amount of stuff I'm gonna have to put in my sheet.
I know, that's what I said. It's really cool, but it's a lot of crap. But yeah, I mean, the whole point of these weapons, including that shield, was the idea of like the trade-off where you lose something but you gain something.
I mean, I could definitely see like the first two coming into effect a lot more often, but if the last two come into effect, then you kind of shit out of luck.
Yeah. So, for Grix, he actually offers you Bloodborne inspired spells.
Okay.
So the first one is a first level abjuration spell called Bestial Roar. It is the casting time is interesting. You can use it as an action, or you can use it as a reaction if you're being targeted by a projectile. So the spell is a loud monstrous roar causes a shock wave around the caster. Every creature within a 10-foot circle of the caster must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or be pushed back 10 feet from the caster and knocked prone. Succeeding on the saving throw pushes half the distance and not knocked prone. The shock wave also deflects incoming missiles, causing them to miss. So if someone shoots you with an arrow or shoots a gun at you, you can use your reaction to cast this to block them. So it's better than shield in that respect, isn't it? They just miss.
Okay.
So that I did create a handout for it. So
okay, nice.
And then you can't cast this yet, but he offers you because you from the book, because it's different for clerics because like they don't really have they don't learn spells the same way. So what he's going to get is he's going to get 2 spells as well from reading the book. He's just going to have to study the book first. So you both get one first level spell and one 6th level spell.
Okay.
So the 6th level spell is Eldritch Summon, which is a 6th level evocation spell. It is a 1-action spell. So you summon a small nova of eldritch power to slaughter your enemies. Every creature within a 30-foot sphere centered on you must make a dexterity saving throw against the save DC, so whatever your DC is. If they fail, they take half as much, but if they succeed, they take half as much. But if they fail, they take 3d8 force damage and 3d8 psychic damage.
So 6. Oh my god, how big is the area?
30 feet, centered on you.
Holy shit!
So it's a 6th level spell. So
yeah, that's still pretty cool though.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, and is this like, I'm gonna have to spend the money to transform over into it?
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, you would.
Okay, that's fine.
So you can hold on to the 6th level spell for now because you obviously it wouldn't do any good to do that.
Right.
And so Caden will have to do like actually do the read a book thing where he takes the 48 hours or whatever it is to study it. There's one other thing for you, Pebble, but it I I don't know, when Roll20 was acting stupid, it seemed to have dropped it. So let me see. Let me try and just pull up my notes and see, and I'll make the thing later. Where's it at here?
Yeah, I think with this one, I might just go sword and board. Because I also get me Crimson Right damage, plus if I get First Blood, that's an extra 1d10 necrotics. That's 3 dice I'm rolling at 60% health.
Just real quick, I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna go put the stuff I need to put in the fridge away.
Cool. Can't find it.
So yeah, I definitely do want to use this sword. It looks fun, but I think I might need to spend a bit of downtime activity to try to retrain my fighting style.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. So Pebble, there is it's a necklace that has a sort of a large piece of amber, and inside of it is it looks like it almost looks like a finger bone that is floating inside the amber, but it's really, really small. Like even smaller than like what your finger, like the gnome's finger bone would look like. But it looks like humanoid finger bone, but it's very, very small. It's a little bit unnerving to look at. But the necklace itself, it doesn't specifically have a name like like the Crimson Nightmare or anything like that. But what it does is that all healing done to you gains an extra die. So like if I don't know what Caden's rolls are for like let me see what
Yeah,
it is.
healing word is a D4, cure wounds is a D8.
Yeah, so if he casts healing word, you get an extra D4 when healing you. And it also grants you the ability to automatically sense any creature that would be of the evil alignment.
Cool.
Oh shit.
So I will make a thing for that, but Roll20 didn't save it apparently.
Just gonna start revealing things before you're ready now.
Yeah, just like the stupid vampire that
I'm gonna have to be careful around Pebble now.
right. But again, I mean, it goes back to the same thing. So like that could be good or bad because again, evil is a somewhat subjective within, at least in my world. So like the Great Jester would be considered evil, but he kind of really wasn't. I would consider him more selfish than evil. His selfishness may have led to evil things. Obviously, he did. You're not even entirely certain that he murdered anybody, but he did take away the free will of other people and make them murder. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty evil. But his intentions were not purely evil. His just deeds ended up being that way. But same thing for Maeve, the vampire in the previous game. You would have recognized her as evil as well, but she had no evil intentions. So it can be a little confusing, I guess, maybe, but
Mhm.
you get to be healed better.
Sweet.
And you got a -1 AC shield, -3 AC shield.
Oh, they balance each other out.
I mean, in a way. I think Caden and Grix probably make out the best because they don't have any trade-offs, really. They just get cool spells. I will. He's not here, but I'll tell you what. Are you still recording, Rob?
I am.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and end the session anyway, so you can go ahead and stop recording, and then I'll tell you guys what the spell are, so that if he decides to watch the VOD, he isn't spoiled.